Hello, my name is Ludy Duarte, and I chose the visual storytelling track. The setting, composition, designs for the space I chose was for the exterior. It's gonna be like a vast space, like what you see over here. The first picture you see would be what the road would look like, coming down where they're in the hay cart, and they're fighting, and eventually that will lead to the bridge, the creek. And then the second picture you see on the right is where some of the fighting is going to start. Obviously there is the vast space. There'll be a couple trees there. Then you see the barn. It's going to be like a beat up barn. You can probably find it, or maybe even build it and dress it up with different stuff, and then it would lead to the interior of the house. It's gonna be very. It seems like a very quaint home, one-story house. Different. It's not too opulent. It's really. It doesn't seem like they had a lot of money, so it's gonna be very simple. Then we have the mise en scene, the decorations. We're gonna need to get the geese and the foxes. The geese for the fencing when they jump in, and there's a bunch of geese there. Then we have the fence. We could definitely build that, save money with that, and then maybe even reuse it, because and then the interior of the house, it's gonna probably have 3 rooms, maybe just 2, the main one, and then we go to color and contrast. Most of the colors are gonna be browns, light to dark browns, some beiges, cream colors, and then olive greens mostly. The contrast is gonna have, at the beginning it's gonna have a couple of contrasts because it's dawn, starts at dawn. Obviously, as they progress through the fighting, it's gonna get lighter, and there's gonna be more contrast. Okay, now we are in lighting style. The lighting style, at the beginning, it's going to be dawn. So it's going to be pretty much natural. We will have a couple of 2Ks. Maybe eventually, as they keep fighting, the lighting it's going to get light. It's going to get lighter, and as it is, we probably won't need as much lighting involved because the sun's going to be there, unless we get some shadows in places. So we might put a couple of 2Ks. It depends the space that we're working with. We might use a couple of lightings to keep the actor's face even and lessen some shadows in places. Most of it, since it's an action kind of sequence, starting from the outside to the roof, and then the fence, and then the road and the creek, most of that will be pretty much on the spot. It's mostly moving, so we won't really have as much to work with but the natural lighting. Then we get to the interior home, in which it's going to most likely be somewhat dark in there, so we might put a couple of practicals for candles, since in that time they didn't have that electricity. There might be not enough light coming through the windows, so we might use a couple of 2Ks or 1Ks to light up the room as naturally as possible without, washing everything out and having contrast in there. We might use a couple of softs on the actors' faces to make sure to separate them from the background and give them hair light. Next we have shots, angles, and camera movement. All this, it's combined. First, it's dawn. We have a establishing shot of the two characters fighting each other. From afar, we probably can just see their silhouettes and just hear the clashing of their swords. Eventually, we're going to start closing up on them, do a few close-ups, maybe a couple of dolly shots when they're in the hate card, and when we just see them going up the roof, and then a close-up when they get up there. Definitely a close-up when they're going to fall into the creek, and then close up on their faces, see their reactions. We also have then it goes to establishing shot of the house from the outside, and then it goes into the study where you'll see him coming into the room, seeing all the medallions, and then you see Isabel there with the sword, and then we do like a medium shot of them, and then followed by a close-up. The whole dolly shots and stuff and wide shots that we're gonna have during the fighting sequence, it's mostly to keep the audience enticed and enthusiastic about the fighting. Keep them happy, and then next and finally we have costumes and makeup. As you see here, this would be kind of the dress that Elizabeth would wear, except that it wouldn't have all those colors or figures that you see there. Mostly it would be like a neutral kind of cream color. And then that, what you see on the right would be what the guys would be wearing, except minus a hat. Mostly, as you see, it's mostly browns and light browns, creams, boots, definitely boots. It's very earthy kind of looking, not too much colored, it's not too out there, but it fits the characters very well. And lastly, we have actors. During the rehearsal period, they will be going through stage combat, and they'll be rehearsing their blocking, especially during this fighting scene, because they're going to have swords. We don't want them to get hurt. When we get onto the set or location, as it were, for this, we would give them their marks and make sure they hit their marks that we give them. As close as possible. Try to not have too many retakes unless we really have to, because here we're going to have to be careful with the actors, because from time to time accidents happen, but try to make everything as safe as possible for them, and try to keep them happy and make sure that we're giving our all, just like they are giving their all. And that is all. Thank you.